सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। हरि ओम। When Bhagavan Krishna had to give the message of Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, we find that he often quotes from the Vedic literature. The entire Kathopanishad with examples, Bhagavan Krishna cuts and pastes it in Bhagavad Gita. There are various statements of Mundakopanishad which he again takes it and uses it in Bhagavad Gita. The second chapter is from the Kapila Yoga or Kapila Sankhya Yoga, which is taken from there. In fact, it is even named as Sankhya Yoga. The 11th chapter is from Purusha Sukta. So one might say that, hey, then what did he say? If he has just copied and pasted it from all these different Upanishads and Vedic scriptures, what did he say then? One of our Swamijis, he says that when he was young, Bhagavan Krishna, when he was young, he used to steal butter from others. When he became older, he stole mantras from other scriptures and pasted it and called it Bhagavad Gita. The point is, even when it is Bhagavan himself who has taken the avatara, it is a necessity that he take the scriptural reference from the Vedic reference to whatever that is being conveyed. So that the statement that Vedo vai pramanaha, Vedas are our pramana. Therefore our tradition, culture, customs, it is called, now we call it by Hinduism or Sanatana Dharma, but within the scriptures the reference is Vaidika Samskriti. That is what we are. We are not an ism. Now it has become a Hinduism, but it is Vaidika Samskriti. And what is the pramana for that Vaidika Samskriti? Pramana for that Vaidika Samskriti are Vedas themselves. And even in that avatara, it is not that he can speak whatever. that he takes the Vedas that he himself gave in the beginning and relate it to that, saying this is what that wisdom actually intends to mean. Now when Bhagwan himself takes it from the Vedic scriptures and refers to them as knowledge, how can any so-called guru come into this world and say, this is not anything related to the scripture, but it is my own wisdom? What an audacity. Now I am not talking of a software here, audacity of that individual to claim so. So this Purusha Suktam comes in the Rig Veda Shakha, it comes in Yajurveda Shakha, it comes in Krishna Yajurveda and Shukla Yajurveda, it comes in even the Atharva Shakha, the various Shakhas and Samhitas that this Purusha Suktam with slight variations that we hear. You may not see that much variation in Purusha Suktam, but Shri Suktam, when you start chanting, man oh man, there are so many different versions. Some people have Chandram, some people have Chandram, various intonations and marks are also different. But Purusha Suktam, the difference is not that much. But since we follow in Chinmaya Mission, the tradition, we follow the Krishna Yajurvediya Shakha and we have the Purusha Suktam from there. And that is what Puja Gurudev has commented upon. Purusha Suktam, as we chant it, even without knowing the meaning, just by the mere chanting of it, has various benefits. Of course, needless to say that the chanting has to be with perfect pronunciation. The chanting has to be with a clear understanding as to where to pause and where not to pause. Otherwise, the meaning can get ruined or changed. Sometimes the meaning can be hilariously opposite to what the mantra intends to say. Sometimes when as I enter into the center, there is a Purna Kumbha, and that is a hilarious start. Many places they come with the Purna Kumbha and they are looking at me and say, chant. So I say, na karmana na prajaya dhanena tyagena ike amrutatva manashu, and start from there. And sometimes that mantra itself, the way it is chanted, leads to another hilarious end. Usually, I hear many people in a very high-pitched tone chant it, not knowing where to pause, and I have to maintain a poker face, straight face, and not laugh out loud at them, right on the first day. Usually what I hear, because of the wrong pause, Om na karmana na prajaya dhane na tyage naike amrutatva manashuhu. I'm like, Abba, somebody call 911. What is that song? Maar Dala. Aate hi maar dala. You can say Krishna maar dala. The actual mantra is Nakarmana na prajaya dhanena tyage naike amrutatva manashuhu. But the way we chant, inadvertently, not intentionally, the meaning is na karmana, na prajaya, na dhanena. Neither by progeny, nor by karma, nor by dhana, that immortality can be attained. It is by tyaga. It is by tyaga of that one, that ego alone, that one can attain to immortality. But then we pause it in a wrong place. So what happens? Na karmana, na prajaya dhane, na tyage, naike amritatva manashuhu. Heights of capitalism. Neither by karma, nor by praja, nor by tyaga. Dhane. Only by wealth can that immortality be achieved. The whole meaning is messed up. So one needs to know the pronunciation. One needs to know where to pause, where to do the sandhi or the sandhi vichcheda, where to join the words and where not to join the words, where to have the hrasva and dirgha. Sometimes when we add singing to it, since majority are Tamil here, I will use the Tamil Englishized word. We colorify the main meaning of it. Is it Mahishasura Mardini or Mahishasura Mardini? Mahi means buffalo. Mahi, dirgha means bhumi, earth, prithvi. Mahipati means king. Mahideva meaning the educated, learned scholars. They are called the Deva, the verily the divine on the earth. He changed it. Mahipati. Mahipati, the lord of buffaloes. The meaning changes. So usually I give this example that this husband had a business meeting and he was sent, to go to this meeting conference, and little did he realize that it was a beautiful locale and it had such scenic things. He immediately remembered his wife. It must have been his 20th anniversary or so. So he sent a message to her, "Wish you were here." And immediately within 15 seconds, she calls up and says, and she's screaming and says, "Oh, what happened? What happened? What happened?" She said, "I am really confused. What happened really? What is the message that you send?" So he checks, poor fellow, autocorrect. Instead of "wish you were here," one E was missing. "Wish you were her." गुस्सा तो आएगा ही. Sometimes this autocorrect is it's a very dangerous thing. So one day I had some other meeting to attend, so I sent across in a group text to all the members in our Devi group, "Today there will be no Devi group class." And the autocorrect, man, it ruined my day. I said, "There will be no devil group today." I don't know how the autocorrect realized the truth. Narayana. So one needs to understand where it has to be paused, where it has not to be paused, how dirgha, how hrasva. And one other thing is how the Mahaprana, when there is the emphasis on each syllable, and they have to be given their due diligence as to how it has to be pronounced. On the top of all of this, there are Udatta, Anudatta and Swarita swaras that are given to the mantra. By knowing how to chant it as prescribed, it automatically does its effect of pranayama. So there are multiple layers of positive energy that it generates just by mere chanting. Because of the pranayama, there is the prana shakti that is evolved. Because of the mantra, there is mantra shakti. That mantra is in a certain meter, and that meter has that effect and impact of positivity. This particular one is in Anushtup Chandas, except the last one, which is in Trishtup Chandas. There are 16 mantras. The 16th one is in Trishtup Chandas. And these chanda also are those which provide that positive energy. Now, once we understand the meaning of this primordial person that is being described and meditate upon, the mind is naturally lifted to a subtler positive state. So there are various benefits of just learning how to chant, preferably with the meaning, so that our minds are lifted from the grosser existence into a subtler existence. As in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan says, Uddhared Atmana Atmanam. You have to lift yourself by yourself. Nobody else can lift. It is my responsibility to uplift myself. As you sing in front of the Lord, Bhagwan meri naiya par kara do. Haath kis liye diye? Why have I given you hands? Row and come that side. And the devotee says, wahi to kar raha hu, ro to raha hu. Yeah, just that he's changed the language. Then Bhagwan says, तभी तो suffering है, suffer नहीं है. So now this particular mantra, it starts with Shanti mantra. Does everybody know this Purusha Suktam? Heard it, okay. I don't want to be hurt by it, so repeat after me. Om Tat Chanyora Vranimahe. Should I reduce my pitch? In Telugu it will be hilarious. Na pitch tagichala. Om Tachanyora Vranimahe Gatum Yajnaya Gatum Yajnapataye Daivi Swastirastunaha स्वस्तिर्मानुषेभ्यः ऊर्ध्वं जिगातु भेषजम् शन्नो अस्तु द्विपदे शञ्चतुष्पदे ओम शांति 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 ओम तच्छन्यो रावृणीमहे तत् शम योः आवृणीमहे तत् in Vishnu Sahasranama there are different names of the Lord, and one of the name of the Lord is Tat. Kaha, Kim, they are also the names of Lord. So recently somebody's male child was born, and I said, some unique name, Swamiji. So I said, I'll give you two names. Name your child as Kim Tat. Swamiji, he said unique but not funny. I said, I'm giving you Bhagavan Vishnu's name. Why do we refer to that Bhagavan, that Paramatma as Tat? It is a point of reference. Those who have experienced it would say it and refer to it as this Paramatma. Right? Because it's already a subjective personal experience. Many of our minds which has not experienced it, that which has not been experienced is always referred to with as that. So here the students and the master, the Rishi, they say that which we do not have yet experienced, that Paramatma, we invoke Avrani Mahe, Avarana, Avranute, not Avarana, Avranute. Vrunu, Varaniya, that which is the most suitable one, the most blessed one. We invoke that Paramatma to do what? Sham Yoho, to invoke absolute good, absolute auspiciousness. And all these different aspects of the divine expressing as different deities, one of the names is Shamkara. Not necessarily Lord Shiva alone. Shiva is also Shankara. For all these different gods, that Shamkara. Shamkaroti yaha saha. The one who brings forth, blesses forth auspiciousness. Gatum yajnaya, gatum yajnapataye. How do we invoke? We invoke that auspiciousness through this yajna. The various meanings of this word yajna. One, physical dravya yajna. We are invoking through propitiating the fire in the yajna kunda, and through that we are invoking by offering various mantras and oblations into that fire. We are invoking that supreme through this practice of fire invoked. The second meaning of yajna is any effort put for a collective good, wherein I am also an integral part of it. Such an effort aimed at not just my own well-being, but also the well-being of the entire collective, that which I am an integral part of. Such efforts are called yajna. In the 3rd and 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan himself talks about it as the yajna bhava karma. So that yajna, through that actions, that not just we are invoking auspiciousness, but we are also ready to offer that auspiciousness as our actions. Because sometimes or many times we anticipate auspiciousness, but we end up going out and doing everything possible as inauspicious. It's contradicting. But the promise here that the student and the teacher are making, that we will be conscious of our actions, that they are geared towards auspiciousness alone. What is the highway that you take from here to New York? 95. 95 east, north, west, north. 95 north. And every time you take your car and you are taking 95 south, and you come back frustrated after 2-3 hours of ride saying, "Pata nahi yaar, New York aata hi nahi hai." I don't know, the maps are wrong, or the car is wrong, or my stars are not aligned, my horoscope is not aligned. It is my effort that is not aligned. I come here invoking, Bhagwan, give me Shakti, give me Bhakti, give me all these positive things. When you do the puja, the sankalpa, Kshema, Sthairya, Vijaya, Abhaya, Ayuhu, Arogya, and then go outside and have one round of deep fried medu vada, then deep fried samosa, deep fried kachori, deep fried this, deep fried that, and then come back and say, Bhagwan, what about my health? The action should be geared towards what I am anticipating. Though the examples that I am taking are very basic examples, where we can expand that. Gatum yajnaya. Gatum yajnapataye. We invoke that Supreme in such a way that every action and interaction that we are performing with the world outside is with the attitude of serving that Lord in every interaction. Remember the pledge? Chinmaya mission pledge. Service to humanity is service to the Lord of Lords. Service to the nation is service to the Supreme Self. Nothing less. Gatum yajnapataye. Daivi swastirastunaha. May that Lord, in spite of us being us, which is challenging, guide us towards swasti. Swasti, swastika, swasthya, they are all from the same basic root word. Illness is called disease. Dis-ease, not at ease, not in samya sthiti. And having good health, what does it mean? Swasthya, swa-sthiti. As long as that balance is maintained, body has to be 37 degrees Celsius. If it is 1 or 2, we say ballpark figure, 4 or 5 plus or minus, लेने के देने पड़ जाएंगे. Instead of 37, if it is 39, 40, and if it is 40, then definitely ICU. Preferably, hopefully not for the last time. ICU. Because it has to be in that samya sthiti. That is when it is called swa sthiti, swasthya. So I invoke that Lord to bring me back to that balance. Daivi swastirastunah. Swastir manushebhyaha. Not just me, but the entire humanity. May we all be brought together in that balance. Urdhvam jigatu bheshajam. May every experience that is provided to us become a medicine to take us, uplift us to higher path. Meaning, let my mind or mindset change in such a way that I view my own experiences not as stifling or binding, but every experience that it has a message, that it is being provided unto me so that I can grow. Let me understand how I should grow. Let that become my medicine. Bheshajam. Shanno astu dvipade chatushpade. May you shower that auspiciousness on all us two-legged ones. May you bless all the four-legged ones. So one interpretation is, may you bless all us adults, and may you bless our children who are still the toddlers who are on their fours. Somebody interpreted beautifully, Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim. When we are all born, we are all Muka. We are Pangu, cannot walk. That who provides the strength so that we can speak, that who provides the balance so that we can walk, may he flow through us as auspiciousness expressing in that balance. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May there be peace inside, may there be peace outside, and together with this inside and outside, may we acquire that peace which is transcending both polarities. Wherever there is Shanti, there is a vulnerability of Ashanti. Let me transcend this Shanti and Ashanti and firmly abide in Prashanti, that which is not disturbed by presence of sound or absence of sound. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. After that, we go into the Purusha Suktam. Repeat after me. Om Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha. Sahasrakshas Sahasrapat. Sabhumim Vishvato Vritva. Atyatishtad dashangulam. We are invoking that Purusha. Now again, feminists, women lib, don't take out your banners and say that this must have been written by a male. Hold off on your banners and protest. Purusha here is not talking about the masculine or feminine. We are not talking about the gender. What are we talking about? Adi Shankaracharya ji explains this very beautifully in his commentary, not on this but on the word Purusha. He says, Purishayanat Purushaha or Purnatvatva Purushaha. Purishayanat Purushaha. That because of whose presence the pinda, the layer of matter, body, mind and intellect gets enlivened, that spark of life is called Purusha. That spark of life, the jiva who enlivens this body, mind and intellect, is called Purusha. Then what is three? That who is in the clutches of Sattva, Tama, Raja, Satara, Stri. So who is a Stri? The one who is a slave to these sattvic, rajasic and tamasic gunas and is constantly tossed from one guna to the other. Such one is called Stri. Once Mirabai came to Vrindavan and there was a great Pandita and she wanted to meet him. And his students immediately stopped her and said, यहाँ पे तो केवल पुरुष को ही आना, like only men are allowed inside. So she said, मुझे तो लगा कि इस दुनिया में केवल एक पुरुष है, बाकी तो हम स्त्री हैं. And this student went and conveyed that message, and that Pandit, he came out and prostrated to her and said, क्षमा कीजिए, आप अंदर आइए. Forgive us, please come. And what she was talking was from that standpoint. And that I would say is true feminism. So Puri Shayanat, that which is enlivening this body, mind and intellect equipment, because body, mind and intellect are nothing but a layer of matter. As much as this body is a layer of matter, a subtler expression of this matter is thought, which is expressing as mind, emotions or convictions in the form of intellect. Even that thought is nothing but matter. Thought may be subtle, but it is nonetheless a layer of matter alone. Again, going back to Tattva Bodha, where Adi Shankaracharya ji very beautifully explains that the Antakarana Chatushtaya is made up of the Pancha Mahabhuta Sattvikamshat Udbhuta. That which is made of the Sattvikamsha of the Pancha Mahabhuta. Pancha Mahabhutas are nothing but matter. The subtlest form of it is Sattva Guna, Sattva Pradhana. And that Sattva Pradhana matter, it may be Sattvic, but yet it is still matter. So mind and intellect are still matter. That which is enlivening it is the Jiva. So Puri Shayanat Jiva. And what should be the effort of this Jiva? Purnatvatva Purushaha. To understand our own existential reality, which is complete unto itself. If we are the expression and expansion of that Paramatma who by definition is Purna, who is by definition infinite, and we are an expansion expression of that Paramatma, we have to necessarily be nothing other than infinity alone. Mathematically speaking, if you take anything, subtract anything from infinity, it cannot be finite. It has to be infinite alone. If by whatever method you can draw finitude from infinite, that means that which you assumed as infinite was never infinite in first place. And since Paramatma is defined as infinite, Purna, we all have to necessarily be Purna. Purnatvatva Purushaha. Where is this Purusha? What mountain do we have to cross? What ocean do we have to cross? What clouds do we have to cross to reach to this Purusha? So this mantra says, Sahasra Sirsha Purushaha Sahasrakshas Sahasrapat. So one day I was trying to explain this concept to 5th, 6th, 7th graders. So one kid pops his hand up and says, is this Bhagwan like a millipede? Thousands of feet, thousands of hands, thousands of eyes. Now here Sahasra is not a count. It's not a count that you have to count 1,000 eyes. In the 1,000th eye there is Paramatma. In the 1,000th hand there is Paramatma. In the 1,000th leg there is Paramatma. So if you have to find Paramatma, work in a shoe store. Every 1,000th leg that you work on, or become a podiatrist. It's not a Tamil word, it is an English word. Here Sahasra means, like when you go to a party or a function and you see a lot of people and you said, how many people were there? You don't say 1,000, you instead say thousands of them were there. So here Sahasra is indicative of that thousands. Of these thousands of hands, thousands of legs, thousands of eyes, that which is giving the eyes the capacity to see, that which is giving the hands to work, that which is giving the legs to function in their particular field, that spark of life. So where is that Paramatma? That's why in Rudram, in the last Anuvaka of Rudram, there he says, Ayam me hasto bhagavan ayam me bhagavattaraha ayam me vishvabhe shajo yagam shivabhimarshanaha ayam me hasto bhagavan ayam me bhagavattaraha. Where is that Paramatma? Expressing through as satkarma through these hands, as a remedy, as a medicine, as a support for every aspect of creation that I am interacting with. This is the Bheshaja. Bheshaja, the medicine, the remedy, the method to uplift. So through these hands, through these legs, through these eyes, that which is expressing, not just the human, everywhere that I can find an eye, sadly including the iPhone. Sahasra Sirsha Purushaha Sahasrakshas Sahasrapat. Is there a specific spot where I can find this Paramatma? Sabhumim Vishvato Vritva. This Paramatma is enveloping, is permeating, pervading, through and through. Every ounce, every particle of this expression called creation. And when we talk about creation, and when we refer to Paramatma with respect to creation, we are not talking about this galaxy system. We are not just talking about this universe. We are talking of that Paramatma who is the God of not just Hindus. We are not talking of that God who is the God of Indians. We are not talking the God of that Paramatma who is the God of this Prapancha or this universe. We invoke that God, that Paramatma who is Akhilanda Koti Brahmanda Nayaka. That who is the master, the support, the substratum for multiple such creation systems all put together. How many of them are there? Infinite number. So are there aliens out there? It is not that the aliens are out there, and they are very intelligent beings also. How? Because they have never tried contacting us human beings in this earth. Baba re Baba, unse nahi padna, dur raho unse. That shows their intelligence. Sabhumim Vishwato Vrutva. That he is not just permeating this earth, but every aspect of creation, he alone is the support. In Narayana Suktam, as the mantra says there, Antar Bahisya Tat Sarvam Vyapya Narayana Sthitaha. Inside and outside. That which is inside and that which is outside. Both aspects are nothing but that Narayana alone who is permeating through this universe or through this cosmos. How so? By this time you should have realized that I am a foodie through and through. Like Adi Shankaracharyaji's, different texts do not find fulfillment without mention of Rajju Sarpa Nyaya, the snake and the rope example. Similarly, I have now adopted to food examples. I say Antar Bahisya Tat Sarvam. When you eat a good rasgulla. When I say a good rasgulla, it is not from a tin, it's not from a can. They are very rubbery, chewy, made fresh. The other day I was mentioning, I said, made fresh from paneer. So, paneer, Swami ji? मालूम ही नहीं था क्या? So you make them into small rounds, and then in the sugar syrup you steam them. They swell up. No, this is exaggeration. They swell up. And as they swell up, what happens to the sugar syrup? It permeates inside and outside. So too. See, there is a Sufi song where he says that Malik, that Lord, how is he? He is like chashni. Chashni? Syrup. That is what gave me the idea. Arre, this so speaks to me. Antar Bahisya Tat Sarvam Vyapya Narayana Sthitaha Sabhumim Vishwato Vrutva. He alone is the substratum which is inside and outside. And yet, Atyatishthati Dasha Angulam. And yet is just 10 inches away. Angulam. Angulam, 10 inches. Angulam also means directions. How many directions do we have? 10 directions. North, east, west, south, northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest, urdhva, adaha, up and down. And the one who could run his chariot at his will in all these 10 different directions was called Dasharatha. So, Dasha, Dik. 10 different directions. And where is this Paramatma? Though he has created this universe, though he has become this creation, he permeates through and supports as a substratum, he is yet not a part of the creation. We will come to that part later. Where is he then? He is just away from the concept of time and space. Therefore, the question, when was God created, is redundant. It is he who created time. Therefore, for all the practical purpose of our time constraint, we refer to the smallest time frame is a second, because first is the Lord, second is the time. That who created time cannot be evaluated in the parameter of that time, and time and space are mutually changeable variables. From here to your house, you can calculate both in time as well as in space, distance. So many people tell, oh, it is just 20 miles. I tell them, don't give me space, give me time. How much time does it take in this particular hour? Many people say, oh, sorry, we live very close by. Just about 10 miles. Pata chala ki that 10 miles has such a traffic jam. Then it takes about an hour to reach there. Hey, idhar se hi Ram Ram. So both the time and space are interchangeable variables. And who is this Paramatma? That who is beyond the realm of time and space. Now the next one. Angulam also means dimension. Science has evolved to the fourth dimension yet. How many of you have watched the Interstellar? Yes, you better be watching it. It's a very abstract concept which they have tried to portray it across in a movie, where they are talking about the time and space as interchangeable and consciously can be manipulated. There are such 10 dimensions. If you look at the Sri Chakra Yantra, it is called Nava Avarana, 9 dimensions. On the top of this 9th dimension, there is Bindu, and she is Bindu Madhya Nivasati, the one who is living or abiding in the middle of that Bindu. What is that Bindu? Convergence of all these 9 dimensions into that one realm from where you can choose. Because from that realm there is no past, present, future. There is only point of reference. And just to make this whole concept easy to understand, if you are standing, say, on the 10th floor and I am on the ground level, and we both are on our cell phone, and we both are watching the road in front of us. For both of us in the same moment, past, present and future has a different reference. Because if you cut a pie as a reference, what is in my reference at the ground floor, at the ground level, is a smaller pie. At your level, it is a larger pie, So just to give you an example, you say there is a yellow car coming. Yellow car is already in your present. For me, it is yet to become my present. For you, it is already in your present. Then the yellow car comes, then it is in the present moment for both of us. And the yellow car leaves, it has become my past. And for you, it is still in your present. So it's just a reference point. And with a different reference point, the same moment can have different past, present and future. Now to such a realm which is beyond matter, which is beyond time and space, where you choose the moment and that moment becomes the present of what you choose consciously. That convergence point which is beyond, that's why even in Guru Stotram we say, Bindu Nada Kalatita. Nada and Kala are the material world, they converge into Bindu, and that which is Atita, that which is beyond this 10th dimension. Atyatishtati, it is right here, but where is it? Beyond the 10th dimension. Though is a part of this creation, is expanding as the creation substantiates and is the substratum of this creation, and yet not the creation. And this is where it topples many of us. This is the concept that is also explained in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. If you have already come to 11th, 7th must have been already seen. So in that 7th chapter also Bhagavan says that they are in me, I am in them, and yet I am not in them. The same concept. Atyatishtati dashangulam. How do we explain it? Do you all feel cold at this moment? Because you are getting introvert. Not because of knowledge or wisdom, because of the room temperature. Right? Why is the AC blowing cold air? One obvious reason, the thermostat has been set so low. Hint, hint. फिर भी कोई नहीं उठा. Anyway. Now say ignorance is bliss. The other obvious reason is the electricity which is invoked by that equipment is expressing through that equipment as this cold air. I can see you and you can see me. One obvious reason, we both have eyes. Though we have eyes, if there was no light, it was darkness, we would not be able to see. So why do we see? Because of these illumining objects. Why? Because the electricity is blessing that particular instrument to express that illumination, therefore we are able to see. Can you all hear me? For some it can be sound, for some it can be noise. When it has meaning added to it, then it becomes sound. When it doesn't have meaning, पता नहीं क्या बोल रहा है, then it becomes noise. But in either case, that the sound reaching to you is amplified through this instrument, which is also blessed by that electricity. Can I therefore define electricity as cold air? Electricity is illumination. Electricity is noise. It is because of electricity, but electricity cannot be defined by that which is expressing. Similarly, the entire creation is nothing but the expression of that Paramatma, is supported by that Paramatma, is substantiated in and through by that Paramatma alone, but no aspect of this creation can ever be called as Paramatma. Atyatishthati dasha angulam. Now moving forward. Purusha ye vedagam sarvam. Yad bhutam yaccha bhavyam. Utamritatvasye shanaha. Yadannena tirohati. Purusha eva idagam sarvam. Yad bhutam yaccha bhavyam. That Purusha alone, that Purnatva alone is everything. Here, let me take you through one of the most confusing concepts of Vedanta. Real and unreal. A very confusing concept. I mean, let me not equate all of you to me. It took me at least 5 years to understand that concept. You may have realized it earlier than that. It used to baffle me, it used to confuse me a lot. And they would confuse it further by equating it like, it is something like dream. Oh, there are so many layers of confusion there. When you say it is like a dream, what exactly do you mean? I know I wake up and therefore I realize that it is dream and it is not real. During the dream, it was very real. I was in a forest. I was being attacked by a tiger. I was scared for my life. I was running. I successfully escaped all the attempts and reached to a point where there was no point of escape. It was a cliff. I turned around. There was a tiger menacingly looking at me. And because of my samskara bala, I started chanting Tayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukam Vandanat. But the tiger is also born out of my own samskara. So it started chanting Brahma Arpanam Brahma Vi Brahma Agno Brahmana Hutam. A very sattvic tiger. And it pounced on me. As it pounced and I didn't want to be eaten up, I jumped off the cliff. Jo hoga dekha jayega. And suddenly, thud, I hit the floor. And I wake up to realize, man, that was so real. Thank goodness it is not that real. Right? And when they equate this waking world, saying that it is unreal. What do you mean unreal? I can feel it, I can taste it, I can touch it, I can smell it, I can feel it. And my patterns of caricature reactions are very, very different, sometimes very violent. And whenever I used to hear that it is unreal, मार के दिखाऊं कितना unreal है, real है. One knockout, पता चलेगा क्या real है, unreal है. And whenever this particular example of Adi Shankaracharya ji was given, I don't know if it happened really or not, but there are many speakers who give that example. I thought it was a cop-out. Adi Shankaracharya ji one day was talking about Maya and unreal, and suddenly a mad elephant rushed in. Everybody got scattered. Everybody ran away. So these two people who were trying to escape that mad elephant wanted to climb a tree, and they were finding it difficult. Somebody from up the tree who was already climbed it said, "Aa jao." And they saw Adi Shankaracharya ji. They said, "You were the one who were saying that everything is unreal. Why did you run away and climb the tree?" So Adi Shankaracharya ji in his all wisdom said, "Mama palayanam api mithya." My running away also is mithya, is unreal. I thought it sounds like a cop-out, a good escape route. It didn't bring any clarity. What do they mean when they say it is unreal? Pay attention. Purusha eva idagam sarvam. Even in Ishavasya Upanishad, it is the same concept. That is the first mantra. Ishavasyam idagam sarvam. Yat kincha jagatyam jagat. Every ounce, every aspect of this creation is Ishvara alone, is that Purusha alone. Do we see that Ishvara? Do we see that Purusha? Even in the most sentient ones, even in the most acclaimed, loved ones, do we see Ishvara? Like in one of these counselings, the husband was saying, "Swamiji, in our tradition they say Pati Parameshwar hota hai, she doesn't treat me." I said, "Bhaiya, it is a powerful statement which presupposes that you treat her as Parameshwari. Then what gets reciprocated is Parameshwara. Even in the most closest intimate relationship, we don't see Ishvara. What do we see? Wherever we are from that standpoint, with that lenses of maturity or lack of it, we perceive the world of things and beings in that light. And whatever be the maturity, we don't see Ishvara. We see this entire creation as bhinnatva, separate from other than that Ishvara. That perception of us, of everything and being around us as other than Ishvara is unreal. This clarity is the blessings of Vidyaranya Swamiji, who gave us the Vedanta Panchadashi, the 15 chapters, and there he speaks about this particular concept of the Nitya and Anitya. Very beautifully he explains that the creation can be divided into two parts: Ishvara Srishti and Jiva Srishti. That which is Ishvara Srishti is nothing but divine. Do we see divinity? Instead, we have the audacity to ask questions like, if God created this world, he must be a very poor, pathetic planner. Why has he created this world with such animosity, such brutality, such wrong things happening? In Ishvara Srishti, there is no brutality. Where is the brutality, negativity? In the Jiva Srishti. And what is Jiva Srishti? Jiva Srishti finds its distinction in recognizing divisions and appreciating those divisions. Wherever we are, whatever we are interacting with, we have to brand it distinctly divided. Constantly, that is the effort. That vision of division which separates everything and which ensures that we see only limitations and not Paramatma, that perception is unreal, anitya. What is Nitya Drishti? To see both the one who is seeing as well as the one who is being witnessed as nothing but Paramatma is called Nitya Drishti. And from that standpoint, this mantra is trying to say that Purusha eva idam sarvam. All that which you recognize as idam. Again, there is another overwhelming feeling here. Everything in this world is nothing but Paramatma. You have to evolve to the perception that you perceive everything as Paramatma. Every being as Paramatma. So overwhelming feeling that settles in is, Baap re, 7 billion population. Everybody have to see as Paramatma. Every creature, every being, every environment as Paramatma. Let me break it down to our immediate understanding and application. Yes, everything is Paramatma. But of that creation, how many do we interact with on a day-to-day basis? कुल मिला के कितने? On a regular basis, day to day. Every family, inevitably, Indian family at least, is हम दो हमारे दो. 4 at least. Your neighbors, another 4, 8, 12. In your office, how many people? Or your friends' office, social and professional life put together, how many people? Another 10, 15 people. So how many people are we talking on a regular basis? About 25 to 30 people, maybe even 40 people. Start seeing Paramatma in these 40. That is what it means. पूरे दुनिया के बाद में सोचेंगे. How many environments do we constantly interact with? People we have taken care. Environments. Home, office. If you are little spoiled, ashram. Maybe once in a while some social circle. Right? 3, 4 environments, that's all. Start seeing Paramatma in these 4 environments in this group of 40 people. Is it that difficult? Swamiji, our whole samsara starts and ends there. I can see Paramatma anywhere else. Not in this 40. That division, divisive perception is called unreal. Purusha evedagam sarvam. Yad bhutam yad cha bhavyam. That which was, that which is, and that which will be is nothing but that Purusha, that Ishvara alone. Uta amrutatvasya ishanaha yad etat atirohati. Etat na atirohati. So that which is, that which was, and that which will be is nothing but amrutatvasya ishanaha. Is this immortal being alone. Nothing can exist beyond this principle. And that is why we find I mean, not just the Abrahamic religions, even in the Dvaita and Vishishtadvaita, the dosha there is all that which is good is branded as godly. All that which is bad is branded as satanic. If there is a force other than Paramatma, and there is a possibility that that Paramatma be defeated by this dark force, which is not just the premise for religion, probably because it is the premise for the religion, it is also the premise for all movies and Shakespearean novels and everything. Good versus evil. Whereas the Vaidika way of looking at it is that everything that which exists is nothing but verily that Paramatma alone. Where is the sense of badness or illness or negativity? It is our individual subjective experience based on my likes and dislikes. Yat etad na atirohati. It cannot exist beyond this Paramatma Tattva. Is it clear so far? Now repeat after me the next mantra. Yetavanasya mahima ato jyayagascha purushaha padosya vishva bhutani Tripadasyaamritam divi. There are many people who would ask questions from the standpoint that what happens then when all the natural resources of this universe come to an end, what will happen to this creation? The creation will end itself. Sun has been throbbing with light and heat for the last 4.32 billion years. Another few billion of years, then this sun will exhaust itself and this whole creation will go back to a black hole. Don't worry about it. Why? By then, realize. And many of you are laughing from the standpoint that, is it even a possibility, Swamiji? क्या बात कर रहे हैं? I don't think that it is not a possibility. So don't start with the disbelief. The actual reason is that Paramatma is infinite. His resources therefore are infinite. In creating something, in manufacturing something, you need three things. Again, the foodie in me is coming out. How many dosas can you make? Depends on the battered. Depends on the batter, right? Because it is not avyaya, it is vyaya. It is exhaustible. There is a limitation to it. But in order to make dosa, what are the things that you require? You need to make batter. No, Swamiji, the Indian stores. Baba, even they, for supplying it to you, have to make it. Batter. It's the material cause. You put the batter in front of you and then chant Om Dosaya Namaha, Om Masal Dosaya Namaha. Masal dosa and uttapam, they will not keep popping up because you have chanted mantra. You need an instrument in a right condition on which this batter, when applied, can start producing the dosa. Do you know why it's called dosai? A very beautiful explanation given. When you put the batter on the first time on the pan, they say, and then you flip it, sing. So do, sing. Ayyo, Swamiji, kadole. So you need batter, material cause. You need the pan in the right condition. It is not to create an ambience of sound that they keep throwing water at it. Because it has to be maintained at a certain condition. If it is too hot, your batter will not spread. It will lump up. It has to be in the right temperature. So the instrument with the right conditioning. And then the most important, the intelligence to know how to pour, make, not just the dosa but the batter and the entire equipment, how to use it, how to make it. That intelligence is required. So the third is the intelligent cause. So what are the three causes? Material cause, instrumental cause, and the intelligent cause. In Sanskritam, this whole thing is put in a technical word called Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karana. Oh no, what is it? Material, instrumental, and intelligent cause. That is what it means. With respect to this creation, who is the material cause or what is the material cause? Paramatma himself is the material. Who is the instrument? Paramatma himself is the instrument. Who is the intelligence? Paramatma himself is the intelligence. And what is the nature of this Paramatma? Purnatvat Purushaha. That who is Purna by nature. So that who is Purna by nature, what about the material? Material also Purna. What about the instrument? That also Purna. What about the intelligence? That also is Purna. So don't get bothered by, worried about, oh, what will happen to this? Yes, it is Purna. No need to worry about it. Even if that concept be taken, that the Lord is creating. So here he says that the entire cosmic form. Now listen to his Mahima, his grandeur. Etavan asya Mahima. This is his grandeur. Ato jyayagam cha purushaha. Purushaha. Ataha. Wherefore, from that Paramatma, everything sprung forth, was created. If that Paramatma, all his potential put together, infinite, just for our understanding, be divided into 4 parts, 4 equal parts, and each quarter in any Indian language is called a leg. In Hindi, pav. In Tamil, kal. One leg. One leg meaning 1 quarter. Here pada does not mean feet. Here it means 1 quarter. Pado osya vishva bhutani. Of that entire existential reality, 1 quarter is what is expressing as this creation. When I say this creation, it is not just this cosmos, not just this particular galaxy system. All the infinite, expansive cosmic systems put together is nothing but 1 quarter of an expression of that Paramatma and his potentiality. Tripadasya amrutam divi. The other 3 quarter remains unmanifest. 1 quarter becomes manifest. Oh, so 1 quarter, no, here when they are talking about 1 quarter and 3 quarters, it is just to give us an idea. They are not talking about a definitive maths here, definitive science here. They are talking about a figure of speech. That a little portion of that Paramatma as an existential reality is expressing in the form of creation. The major chunk of it is still in unmanifest. Can you tell me what I am thinking right now? Anybody? That thought is unmanifest. Once I put it in words and you hear it, it becomes, whether you understand or not, it becomes manifest. Unmanifest, manifest. You light a lamp, you blow the candle. What happened to the fire there? In English we say it got extinguished. But you create another environment wherein that flame can again be born. What happens? It manifests again. Until then, it is in its inexperienceable format, which is called unmanifest. Just because I am not experiencing it, I cannot say that it is non-existent. In Bhagavad Gita, the 2nd chapter, Bhagavan says, Avyaktadini bhutani, vyakta madhyani bharata, avyakta nidhananyeva tatraka paridevana. What is there to worry about? Tatra ka paridevana? Hakuna matata. No worries. Avyakta, that which is unmanifest, becomes manifest, that which we can experience, and what we call as death is nothing but going back to that unmanifest until the opportunity of manifestation happens. So if it is just going back to its unmanifest, what is there to worry about, whether at a material standpoint, matter standpoint, or from the standpoint of jivatva, or from the standpoint of the essential reality? That which is expressed is only a manifest portion, and that manifest portion is one small portion of that humongous akhanda mandalakaram. Tripadasya amrutam divi. So what is this whole thing talking about? Where are they leading? Say Tripad urdhva udait purushaha. That we will see tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.